What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, managing editor, FightfulWrestling.com, Fightful.com. It is June 24th. We are here to talk Monday Night Raw. We have a loaded week. This weekend is Ring of Honor, Best in the World. It's also Fyter Fest. We're going to make our predictions on Tuesday's post-SmackDown show. But I am joined tonight by Alex Pawlowski. Alex, how you doing?
Good. Yeah, Raw is weird.
I've decided to use the Bull face reaction video for when I'm pretending to be really excited about something, but I'm not really. So stay tuned for my memes, guys. I am the meme lord, second only to... No, I'm first. I'm the best. I'm the best. Stay tuned to them. We got Raw to talk about. Let's go ahead and get into it. This show starts off with Seth Rollins interrupted by Becky Lynch. How do you feel about this? They're going on. They're going full on with this.
I hate it. It's
at least with Rollins and Becky early on.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It seems like you're just. Thankfully, this is 3 weeks left of this, and then we're moving on, right? Like
yeah, right.
That's the idea, right? So okay, fine. I'm fine with this, provided that the outcome happens that we think is going to happen, and they do move on. But they should have moved on from this a while ago from both programs, and to stick both the Universal title and the Raw Women's title, ostensibly your top male contender, top male competitor, and your top female competitor in this weird mixed tag for all the marbles match at the top of the card of your pre-SummerSlam pay-per-view just seems like, come on, guys, get out of your own way.
Which just makes you wonder just how good is Ember Moon. Anyway. Rollins says Corbin.
She's better than Lacey Evans. I'll say that.
Yeah. Rollins says Corbin knew he couldn't out-wrestle or out-fight him, so here they are. Becky Lynch calls Lacey Evans a plank. I popped for that. That was a pretty solid insult.
Yep.
Lacey and Corbin, who have both lost back-to-back title matches, also lose an impromptu fight against these two. Doesn't work out for them. They try to attack Rollins and Becky, and no, it doesn't work. So then Rollins and Becky agree to a match, and Lacey and Corbin are like, yeah, I guess we'll agree to this match where we can get a third title shot when we shouldn't have got second ones. What the hell, Alex? I'm watching my language and not saying curse words because YouTube demonetized our show last night after a manual review. Hit them up at YT Creators on Twitter. Let them know that that's ridiculous. But this is so dumb. This is so dumb. And I had somebody say, well, the dots connect. No, they don't. In no way do the dots connect.
No.
Two losers are teaming up to become super losers to challenge people who win all the time and beat them multiple times. Do I like the concept of the intergender match with both titles on the line? Yeah, sure. Why not? But you know who I'd like it against? Somebody who makes a little bit more sense. For the love of God, have Andrade and Charlotte Flair go on a goddamn winning streak.
Yeah,
I cursed. Go on a winning streak over the next couple of weeks and have them challenged. That would make a little bit more sense even. And people are like, well, Baron Corbin's really over as a natural here. No, he ain't.
No,
he ain't.
No. This is what I call WWE getting in their own way, and not like oops, sorry, excuse me, doing that little dance back and forth where you're like stuck in a doorway with somebody. No, like they built like a giant barricade of like there's one of those swinging pendulum things made out of knives. Like they've created a huge obstacle course in their own way, and you're like, no, this is fine. We'll be able to clear this without a problem.
This is the Justice League of WWE losers that is being formed here. It is ridiculous.
I don't understand why they insist on doing stuff like this when they could do other stuff. Like nobody's forcing you to do this crap. You could do other things, but you do this because you choose to. this is just it's in no way does it make a whole lot of sense booking wise. You can say it makes perfect sense for Baron and Lacey to want this match. Sure. But it's the idea of also babyfaces just being stupid, of Seth being like, you know what? Whatever stipulation you guys pick, we agree to it before you even name it. Because, yeah, like, come on, Seth, come on. Really? You're not that dumb. You've been around the block for a while. You say you're the very best pro wrestler in the very best pro wrestling company in the world.
I wish I remember who tweeted it so I could give them credit, but this match, but if Becky and Seth loses, then Seth has to be Lacey Evans' servant for a month.
Yeah.
That would be kind of funny. Kind of funny. Would it make me want to see the match more? No. Actually, it'd probably make me want to see it more because then I would believe that Rollins and Becky could actually lose, but they're not going to lose. This is dumb. Yeah. This is, and I saw people with the balls to tweet out about the main event and say, oh yeah, here's WWE not running back a match they've ran back 100 times. Yeah, but how many? We saw the same guy wrestle back-to-back matches tonight. We saw a singles match turned into a tag match tonight. We saw matches get restarted or redone. It was so weird. Some of the booking decisions here were just weird.
Even like the match setting up talk with a little brawl was weird, where like Lacey runs in and attacks Becky and Seth is like, maybe I probably shouldn't touch them. They're women. And then as soon as Becky gets the upper hand, he immediately pulls her off of Lacey and says, hey, now, settle down, ladies.
Now, usually, by the way, guys, if you want your statement read or your question read on our show, donate to our super chat. It really helps us out, especially when we get demonetized. Somebody, and I'm not trying to disrespect you, but I'm just going to say you have the balls to say, Backlash used to run rematches all the time after Mania. Am I missing something? Yeah. Backlash was in April every year.
Yep.
We are almost in July.
Yeah.
This show, Extreme Rules, happens in July.
Yep.
As in, not March or April. We don't need it. We don't need to see all of these rematches over and over and over again.
Backlash.
If it's merited, sure. But what? We had an automatic rematch clause that was canned for people who won a championship.
Yeah.
The key is to never win that championship at all.
Yeah.
And you just keep getting extra lives. They keep stepping on those green mushrooms, Alex.
You can be the number one contender. You can be the challenger and lose and keep getting matches. But if you're the champion and you lose to the challenger, you got to start a whole new program with somebody else the next night. Now, this is the other thing about all this. I mean, Backlash's gimmick was it was full of rematches. That was in the name, Backlash. Like that was the whole thing. Like it was the thing afterwards. Like it was kind of like, okay, Mania, maybe some of these feuds aren't finished up. Maybe there's more intrigue. The problem is WWE insists on running these same matches over and over and over again and never adds more intrigue. Like the intrigue just oozes out of the feud over the course of time until we're all just done with it.
I'm okay with them pairing Rollins and Becky, and I understand that to some people there's going to be some appeal there. There's going to be some intrigue there, but hey, not for me. I love Jesse David, one of our mods. Great segues. Allow Fightful to curse all they want. Become a member of Fightful Select. That's right. I'm going to review the Alexa Bliss 365 documentary on Select this week. The Fightful Backstage Report podcast is this week. I give you all backstage news on interviews, injuries, stats, contract updates. And this is a big week for NXT and NXT UK. A couple of big title matches. Hear Warren Hayes review that, as well as check out the Weekender podcast from Steven Jensen. You guys are going to want to subscribe for the retro review that is posted at the beginning of July. Holy crap. It is the best one we've ever done. Maybe my best podcast work ever with Warren Hayes. I'm going to post a clip of it boy, was it a train wreck. It's one that I almost want to go back in a year and review again and have you on, Alex.
Oh, yeah?
Because it's so stupid. It was Super Clash 3.
Oh, no.
Boy. So, elimination tag team match. The Usos and the New Day defeated the Revival, Daniel Bryan, and Rowan. So the reason why this match is put together is because these are the top contenders to the tag titles. New Day, who lost to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn last night.
Yep.
Now, before we get into this, thank you, Ross Gold, for the super chat. He says, I thought they changed the match structure to not have mid-match commercials keep viewers. They did. We will talk about that. Charles Haskins says, I sent a super chat in the SmackDown review. My bad. Hey, let me know what your questions were. We will answer those. I got your message on Select today, but let me know what your questions were, and I'll answer them. So 1 week is the limit of the continuity situation in WWE. And I had a ball covering WWE last week, Alex. We were short-staffed. I had to cover way more stuff than I needed to. And quite frankly, WWE made it as easy as they possibly could. It's like they said, you know what? Sean Ross Sapp is having a tough week. Let's make it easy on him. Alex is out. Warren's out. Jeremy's out. Carlos out. Joe out. Andrew out. We'll make it easy on him. And it couldn't have been easier to cover. Well, it could have been easier, but for the sake of hyperbole, we'll say couldn't have been easier. Then they make me go on rants because I love merit in pro wrestling, Alex. Now, do you need it all the time? No. But New Day lost last night, and they lost clean.
Yeah, clean as a whistle.
Assuming that whistle is clean, yes.
Yep.
What the hell, Alex?
I don't know, man. This is a thing they're doing. They're going to do this later in the night. Where people are shunted into new feuds where it didn't seem like they were being set up to be in that position. But okay, they are now. Everything's brand new. So we're just going to forget about everything that happened 24 hours ago. When they mentioned that, oh, look at it. It's the champions of both brands versus the top contenders of both brands. Now, listen, any other time, I'd be happy with you saying New Day, E and Xavier were the top contenders to Daniel Bryan and Rowan. Makes perfect sense. However, they just lost last night. Now, the problem is that Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan are heels, and they can't wrestle against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who are also heels. I mean, that's crazy talk. So we have to decide that the New Day are, I mean, whatever, but come on. There's don't expect us to just forget about what happened last night. I know you expect us to forget what happened 3 weeks ago. But you can't. Last night, dudes?
Alex, it gets worse, as we mentioned.
Yep.
And this is going to be a recurring theme. I wish I could compile it into one rant video, but instead we'll talk about it cumulatively at the end of the night.
Yeah.
With one solid rant video. I believe this is not me reporting, so please do not report this as Sean Ross Sapp said on his podcast. I mean, I'm going to say it, but I'm not reporting it as something. I have a suspicion that the only damn reason these SmackDown teams were brought over was so they could have a rest period after they were eliminated.
Yep.
Because they are immediately eliminated.
Yep.
Daniel Bryan, insanely over. Eliminated.
Well, the thing is, I wonder we thought maybe Heavy Machinery was kind of turning into the skid last night with the whole heel thing and Daniel Bryan being cheered, but maybe not. Maybe they just wrestled the same match they were always going to wrestle, and tonight they were like, well, we can't have Daniel Bryan being cheered anymore. Let's just get him out of there as soon as possible. Well, it's okay, though. We'll have it be through Revival underhandedness. So it's okay. But it did feel kind of weird to get rid of those two guys immediately after they had a great match last night. Meanwhile, the Revival and the Usos are, I guess, still feuding, even though they haven't really had much of an interaction in a while. Okay. The wild card makes everything sloppy and weird. It just does.
Yeah, this was a rare night where the Revival and the Usos were a little bit off. There were a couple spots that just didn't. I mean, the Revival had a sloppy shatter machine on New Day and a Steiner Bulldog that you can tell that Dawson was trying to do as safely as possible. But as David Bixens's man pointed out, it ain't a safe move.
Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah.
It's not an easy one to do in that regard. So Dawson superplexes Jimmy, but Jay is jumping off of Dash's back. I love that spot.
Yeah.
And gets the win. I thought this match was a little too clever for its own good. They had to get crafty in spots where these four teams should not have had to gotten crafty because of this dumbass commercial rule. But you never know until you try, so I applaud them for at least trying.
This is the weird thing where, like, Vince McMahon is he's got steroid dementia. Like, so he's got these weird brain worms that come into his head where he's like, all of a sudden, no more wrestling during commercials, and make it happen. And the writers who have basically relied during the 3-hour Raw era on match starts, they do a flurry of activity, and then we go to break as Michael Cole says, this match rolls on live on Raw. And then we come back 4 minutes later, and now we're getting into the heat of the match. That can't happen anymore, like on no notice. So they're coming up with crazy ideas for how to work around this new decree by the crazy man at the top of the company. And I'm actually like, it's kind of impressive. All the crazy, like, Rube Goldberg ways they came up with to not have wrestling during the commercial breaks. We'll talk about them later. There's just one where, like, they have the club at ringside just to interfere, just so AJ Styles says, stop this match. You guys leave. I'm not going to continue the match until you leave. Go to commercial. Like, it's just weird that they came up with all this crap. I mean, okay.
Rob Wilkins, thank you for the super chat, says, just supporting Fightful. Google Hangouts never forget. Yeah, guys, the format of this show will change drastically in a few months. I don't know how it'll work. This Google Hangouts thing will be different. We got to run an encoder. As you've learned on Wednesdays, that can be unpredictable, but we're going to do as best we can. But, you know, I'll have to teach some of my team how to do it as well. Google sucks, man. What can I say? They'll probably demonetize us for that, too. I feel like cutting the old Paul Heyman TNN promo. They're going to throw us off the air. Bo Boneham says, I swear there were less rematches when they had the mandatory rematches. Love Fightful and Fightful Select. Keep up the good work. It does seem like that
way. Yeah. It really does.
Man, I'm with you, Bo. Okay, let's talk about this nugget of joy that we experienced. Miz welcomes his former partner, R-Truth, and Carmella to the ring and says, don't worry, Truth. The 24/7 rule is suspended right now. Miz recaps R-Truth winning the title at the wedding, and this helped Miz a little bit. Miz has a show where he cares about his family more than anything. Yep. This puts over Miz. Miz is a family man. I admire that. A little bit of continuity there. R-Truth is over so big in this segment, Alex.
Huge.
And he says that wrestlers have been dressing up as police officers, showing up at his house, telling him to turn his music down, saying that your car is on fire. I'm not falling for that. This was phenomenal. How does R-Truth never crack up at his own material?
And he's really, really good. That's a tough one. Like, there are people who never made it through an episode of Saturday Night Live, like professional actors and comedians who constantly crack up. And nope. Like, R-Truth's like completely straight-faced, perfectly selling the whole thing. I thought this was really, really excellent.
So Drake Maverick comes out there. He's still in his wedding outfit. So he is WWE's Laurel Van Ness, which was, you know, it ain't easy to play Laurel Van Ness, because Laurel Van Ness played Laurel Van Ness amazingly well. But this is great. Yeah. Drake Maverick has worked himself into a fantastic shoot. Yeah. But unfortunately, Alex, because of his 24/7 rule and the championship, he wasn't able to work himself into a shoot on his wedding night.
Oh, nice.
So you know what? Blue Chew is there to help him. If he had taken Blue Chew, he would have been able to work it into a shoot. And so can you. And you can do it for free. Even if you're wearing the same clothes like 5 days later. It doesn't matter. BlueChew.com brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so you know they work. You can take them anytime, day or night. They work up to twice as fast as a pill because they're chewable. You can be ready whenever an opportunity arises, kind of like that 24/7 title. You'll be known as Mr. 24/7 by the time you're done with Blue Chew. It's prescribed online, shipped straight to your door in a discreet package. No in-person doctor's visits, no waiting at the pharmacy. Nobody showing up at your door. Well, I mean, there's going to be a lot of people showing up at your door trying to get your goodies after this. That's for sure. Prepares and ships direct. They're cheaper than a pharmacy. How cheap? How about free? Use that code FIGHTFUL. FIGHTFUL. And you get it for free. Just pay $5 shipping. Hit them up at Get Blue Chew. Let them know you heard about them from us. So, up next, Drake wants a title shot, but not before he says that he didn't get to consummate his marriage. R-Truth said, well, you should eat some fiber. I don't know if Carmella knew that this line was coming, Alex, but it looked like she did not.
Yes, it's true.
Because she almost fell out of her damn chair when R-Truth said, well, you said you were constipated.
Mm-hmm.
This is the type of promo that will be covered in documentaries in the future.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Alex.
No, that's definitely part of R-Truth's Hall of Fame reel.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And if you doubted the man was going to be a Hall of Famer, this run solidified it.
No,
already, we're talking 1 month in. Alex, did you see? I know you don't read the site, but 20 segments in a month for the 24/7 segment hit 1 million views.
Yeah, no,
it's just YouTube.
This is the thing. It's the stuff they do outside of WWE is gold. The stuff they do on their own time, the wedding stuff, the stuff on the tarmac, the stuff that they pinning him in mid-flight to Saudi Arabia, the golf course stuff, all gold. Tonight, I felt like they were like, wow, this is great. We're getting a lot of, let's get the rub from the 24/7 stuff on the show. And it doesn't have the same inspiration. Now, the thing they did in the elevator, that was actually pretty cool because it felt like those guys were actually controlling it themselves. This felt like a lot of WWE overproducing it. I'm not talking about Miz TV. I'm talking about everybody runs in and chases him around and does moves and rolls up. And it just felt like it was too much of like the old 24/7 hardcore stuff. Didn't feel like it was as organic as the rest of it. But we'll see how those clips do on YouTube as well.
Well, Drake wants his title shot. Miz gets word that other competitors are banned from ringside. I like this. It brings some semblance of decorum to this title when it doesn't have some. But R-Truth just squashes Drake Maverick after the commercial, of course.
After the commercial.
And we will go through how each of these commercials happen. Lucha House Party run out. Truth disposes of them. No Way Jose and Cedric get involved. Cedric walloped Truth, man.
Yeah.
Walloped him. But Jose breaks up the pin. Maverick is reduced to tears, and the crowd sings the goodbye song. They're dicks.
Yeah.
But it's not over. Because Heath Slater is in the ring ready to face Mojo Rawley later in the show. It doesn't make any sense for me to come back to this. R-Truth runs through, but then runs into Heath Slater, who wins. And did you hear that pop, Alex?
See, this is the thing. Is you're going to find people who get a 12-second title run with the belt that they might have to go back to later for a longer extended run. Like I mean, R-Truth's great. He's gold. But you can't tell me that you couldn't also catch lightning in a bottle with Heath Slater running away from people and doing stuff and trying to like fortify the walls of his mobile home with like booby traps and stuff with his 12 kids. Like you could find cool things to do with Heath Slater as well if you gave him the belt and let him run with it for a month during the fall. You could do a lot of stuff. When a guy gets a quick title win on the 24/7 title and the crowd pops like that, I hope somebody's taking notes for future stuff.
So after that, R-Truth defeated Heath Slater to regain the title again. Cedric Alexander does a nice lumbar check to win the title. So I thought Cedric may have escaped with it. I was like, damn, he's going to escape with it.
Yeah.
I think that even though he didn't escape with it here, good chance for them in the future to show some personality from a guy like Cedric Alexander.
Yep.
Because look how over R-Truth is right now.
Yes. No, there's certain ways of like of getting guys a little bit more screen time in some ways. I mean, that little handspring to the ropes back kick, the quote unquote the neuralizer. That thing gets a pop every time somebody sees it where they haven't seen it for a while because it looks like it kills people. I mean, that's a great move that he pulled out to win the championship tonight. Like the lumbar check, it's great. But another guy, EC3, gets a real quick.
His second win of the night, Alex. He won on main event.
Exactly. As part of a crazy 6-man tag match.
Whose back did he massage to get this type of push?
He teamed with Cesaro and Bobby Roode in the first thing that happened tonight that feel like it was pulled out of a hat. We'll talk about that later.
Well, he put Cedric Alexander on his brain.
Yeah.
With that 1%er. It was good to see that, too. Good to see that move because we haven't seen him do that in a long time.
Yeah.
R-Truth then beat EC3 to regain the title after Carmella had yanked the title away. R-Truth is now like a 9-time champion.
Yep.
My God.
He's gonna break Flair's record.
I can't wait. I can't wait for it. Handicap match time. Okay, I get it. Mike Rome has to reintroduce Shane every time now. So why isn't he just introducing Shane the way that Shane wants him to begin with?
because it wouldn't be a thing where they could like stop everything, go back and have him do it again, because it's Shane McMahon is the most important guy in the entire company. So we have to do as many things to make him seem more important. Sean, didn't you know?
Yeah. Well, it's announced as the 2-on-1 match. Reigns is jumped. Steel chairs, Claymore, a spear from Shane, another Claymore. Shane McMahon goes up to the top rope, and the dong hits. You know how hard it was to not use a Blue Chew segue for that?
Yeah, it was dong out of nowhere.
Undertaker's there, catches Shane midair, choke slams him. What a surprise. I did not expect this at all. A fantastic choke slam, especially considering some of them we've seen lately. I thought, Shane, with his facial expressions, is going to sell this as well as anybody. That's just something that he does really well.
Yeah.
And the way that he jumped off, was caught in the choke slam. You can say what you want about The Undertaker and how he fits into this, but I don't think they could have made a better surprise. They nailed this. Crowd went friggin' nuts, Alex.
Yeah, no.
Now bury it.
No, I mean I'm not gonna bury it. The surprise is great. That's great. I certainly said, "Wow, it's The Undertaker." You know what I mean? Like it's a surprise. It's supposed to be a surprise. It was a huge surprise, and of course, a Raw crowd is going to pop like crazy for The Undertaker being there when they didn't expect The Undertaker to be there. That's a legitimate surprise. Okay, couple things. That was not a choke slam. That was a choke drop. Like if you go back and watch it, he doesn't follow through with it. He just picks him up and then lets him go. Fine, cool, okay. It doesn't make any sense for him to be here. It's out of nowhere. It's let's reinvigorate. Let's try and get some numbers. Let's get pop a rating with Extreme Rules because it's the Undertaker.
You don't seem as impressed with the dong.
I mean, the dong, here's the thing. The dong, the problem with this is that I worked myself into a shoot thinking at any moment they're going to debut Bray Wyatt in the ring. I mean, they actually have the puppets backstage tonight. We didn't talk about that. Like they're sneaking behind things. It's like, so when the lights went out, my immediate thought was, it's going to be the Fiend, who's like super anti-authority. And he doesn't like the fact that the way to show that he's not the old Bray Wyatt is to have him come back and team with Roman Reigns, like the guy who we had the huge problem with for all those years. So in those 2 or 3 seconds before we heard the dong, I was like, Bray Wyatt's back. Like he's going to do stuff. Like I was super excited because we didn't see the Firefly Funhouse tonight. I thought it was going to be that. And when it was the Undertaker, I was like, wow, it's the Undertaker. And then what?
Personally, I thought it was going to be Ember Moon, but that didn't happen.
No, it wasn't.
Some people are going to take that very seriously and be mad. Mm-hmm. Shane McMahon is, without a doubt, a better opponent for the Undertaker than Goldberg.
Pretty much anybody would be at this point. Yeah.
I thought this was a fantastic surprise.
Yeah.
The complete opposite of Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley in a tug of war. This is the 7th match or competition they have had in the last month. I don't even know how my math adds up on that one. But Strowman has pinned Lashley 3 times, beaten him in an arm wrestling match, and a tug of war. So, what I want to see is next week, them at the beginning of Raw playing Monopoly. Mm-hmm. And in true Monopoly fashion, by the time the show's off the air, the game is not done.
Nope.
They're just both sitting there and somebody flips the board over and goes, "Piss off!" And then they fight. And that's how you close Raw. I'm cool with that. Lashley has the lead, gives up, attacks Strowman. Strowman's blinded and attacked. It's Strowman and Lashley. Strowman's going to keep winning. Okay.
Yeah, this is going nowhere. I did genuinely love the Strowman getting pulled slowly toward the line, is almost about to lose, and then he stops and looks up at Lashley and smiles, like you thought you were going to win, and here I go win. And Lashley doesn't even allow the loss. He just gives up and runs at him. Again, though. What is this building to? This is WWE, a textbook example of them not doing point A to point B to point C to D is the end of the feud. They just do A forever. They never ever move to the next point. I don't know where this goes. I mean, obviously it's leading toward Braun winning the feud, I guess, but when? October? Like it just seems to be never ending at this point.
Yeah. AJ Styles backstage trying to explain why he challenged Ricochet, but No Way Jose's music hits and the Good Brothers are dancing. We get more of this condescending horse shit about how Good Brothers don't care, which anybody who has followed anything knows isn't true.
Right.
And it's really annoying. But AJ watches backstage as the Good Brothers take on the Viking Raiders. Anderson flattens Eric. Gallows goes to work, but Ivar tags in and goes crazy with an agile explosion of offense. The Viking experience wins it. This accomplished a couple things. Got a win for the Viking Raider, whatever the hell their damn name is. Viking Raiders, good. Whenever they challenge for the titles, they will deserve it by the looks of it. Love that. For WWE, it accomplishes that they want to keep digging a hole for Gallows and Anderson for whatever that might be. It helps them continue that, and it puts AJ on your screen a little bit more. What did you think of all this?
Well, I honestly, going into the match they set up, You could have easily told me that the reason that the Viking Raiders were off TV is because Vince had soured on them for some reason, and that was the beginning of their descent into the ascension. Was tonight losing to the Good Brothers, who were being built towards something so they could be, a part of this AJ Styles story. I'm glad that wasn't the case, but I'm looking for, like, the Good Brothers did impress in the quick loss. They still looked good, and it gives them more motivation to, do whatever they're going to do from here on. But again, whoever comes out of this Revival Usos feud, I feel like the Viking Raiders are perfectly positioned to either challenge the Revival as baby faces or do a quick heel turn and not really change anything about themselves and challenge the Usos if the Usos beat the Revival. I think that's a really great position for them to be in. We haven't gotten to know the Viking Raiders on Raw well enough to be like, oh, well, now they're doing a heel turn. It just might feel like they've been these same destructive forces the entire time, and I like that.
Backstage, we see puppets popping up behind The Miz, behind Kofi Kingston that belong to one Bray Wyatt.
Yep.
I love this. I love that he didn't appear on the show, too.
Yeah. I mean,
let's drag it out. If you're going to drag it out, as long as you have, you might as well at least do fun stuff like this.
Right. Now, the implication is that on the Firefly Funhouse, we should all pre-taped. We don't really know exactly where these are being broadcast from, but Bray Wyatt's on screen with these puppets who are being operated by other people. Is the implication that now that they're at the arena, that Bray Wyatt is there operating these puppets behind the scenes? Because there's all kinds of cool questions that arise out of this, and this is just we didn't get a Firefly Funhouse segment. We got these that we were shown and were pointed out by various social media types. But I don't think we actually got anybody really pointing out, like, hey, was that Abby the Witch from Firefly Funhouse behind The Miz just then? Like, the fact that Michael Cole's not bringing it up in really obvious tones means that they're trying to make this more subversive, which I love. So let's keep that going. Again, I'm kind of like impatient to see what the new Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, if he wrestles as the Fiend, like what that guy does in the ring, like how it's different and how it's similar to the old Bray Wyatt. I'm impatient to find that out, but I could stand to watch this for a few more weeks. Like if he gets his first debut at SummerSlam, like I don't know who he faces, but there could be some really fun stuff leading up to that. I'm intrigued. I continue to be very intrigued by this.
I like it. It's subtle. It's one of those things we ask for so often. Like do some things that complement our intelligence.
Yes.
Kofi Kingston comes out to be interviewed by Charlie Caruso. He's interrupted by KO and Sami Zayn, who asked really angry questions.
Yeah.
Which were kind of funny. Kofi argues back and challenges Sami Zayn up next live. So commercial time.
Commercial time.
He then throws pancakes. Kofi dominates Zayn. It's one-sided. And then Zayn finally sneaks in the ring, drapes Kofi across the top rope. Owens cheats and attacks, and Zayn gets some real good offense here. That exploder in the corner, just a great Michinoku driver. But it's not enough. Kofi wins, as Kofi probably should win.
Yeah.
What did you think of the first match?
First match was fine. I mean, again, it's a lot. I mean, it's not exactly 50-50 booking, but I mean, Sammy and KO were having a feud with the entirety of the New Day. They won last night and they lost tonight. I mean, basically. So it's interesting to see where this is all headed. There was one move that I really enjoyed from the match was Sammy basically hitting a stationary haluva kick on Kofi jumping off the top rope, which looked brutal. This was fine, and as you said, to be expected. I did not think Sami Zayn would win this here.
I would contest your 50-50 thing because nothing with Kofi has been 50-50 since.
That's true. I'm kind of thinking like along the lines of
with
Sammy and KO. Like it's
sure.
But if you look at Kofi as part of the New Day, Sammy and KO won last night and they lost tonight. So it's just them flip-flopping back and forth with whether or not we take them seriously. Last night, it looked like they were being positioned to be forces toward something. Tonight, not so much.
Yeah, I would agree. Kevin Owens challenges Kofi Kingston up next, and Kofi accepts. Was this for the title?
It was weird. Like I didn't think it was, but then I was like, there's certainly like KO's certainly treating it like it is, but I mean, I don't know. It's a weird deal.
Yeah, and they announced him as still WWE champion.
Yeah, which is odd.
Well, we get a commercial, then KO decks Kofi.
Yep.
Kofi gets his knees up on a swanton, eats a super kick, but then Kofi does an SOS on the ramp and wins via countout. I like that. Kofi not winning via pinfall. I will say, I'm all for a strong super Kofi push, but it's a little much for me. But the fact that he won by countout kind of scales that back, and it made me okay with it.
Right, and also, I mean, the way that KO took that bump on the ramp, it made sense to me that he would be out for a 10 count after hitting the back of his head on the ramp on the SOS. That makes sense. That tracks. It's just they never ever do that. So it kind of felt like it was almost a weird thing where like it wasn't supposed to happen. Like it felt weird for a second. It was like, oh, nobody ever wins by count out. Like certainly not in that situation. So cool. Like I'm all for that. If that's going to be a thing that they do every now and then, great.
So now I'm going to talk about something that I need to be made okay with.
Yep.
Samoa Joe comes out and attacks Kofi Kingston, just brutalizes him. Within the scope of this show, why wouldn't he? It got Dolph Ziggler multiple title shots.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he? They have not announced a title match for Samoa Joe after he beat the crap out of Kofi. They might not this week, but it's very clear that's the direction it's going, Alex.
Certainly for Extreme Rules, yeah.
Samoa Joe has not won a match, I don't think he's won a match since WrestleMania 35.
Yeah.
Not only has he not won a match, and I had somebody say, that's the problem with me. I don't like that someone coming off of a loss can insert themselves into the title picture. Now, if something happens on Tuesday where Kofi says, you earn it around here after I'm done handing stuff out like to Dolph Ziggler, and he cites that, and Samoa Joe mows through people the next couple of weeks, cool, whatever. I just need a rebound win. I had people with the balls to say to me, oh, well, The Rock lost to Triple H and 3 months later was world champion. He won a tournament. He won 10 matches between that point. Not everybody has to win 10 matches. I had people say, oh, well, Johnny Gargano. Yeah, Johnny Gargano won a vacant championship.
Yeah.
Nobody was the champion. Not completely cool with that either, but I mean, I get it. Samoa Joe lost last night.
He lost a mid-card title.
Not only that,
like
a mid-card title against somebody on his own brand.
Right.
And is now attacking somebody not on his brand because wild card. Now, hey, give Joe those wins. I'm cool with it. But please, WWE, don't announce his title shot before he gets those wins. Make there be merit to this. Yeah. Or else, why isn't everybody chasing that 24/7 championship, just chasing Kofi Kingston?
Yeah, just attack him, and then you get a title shot. This is the definition of failing upward, where you defend the U.S. title on Sunday night, lose that championship, and then attack the guy higher than that on the other brand. So not only that, but he's like not only failing upward, he's failing sideways to Tuesday, but also upward. So he's failing diagonally up. Like it's just this weird thing where I'm so done with people from one brand challenging people on the other brand for titles. Like I'm just done with that. Like the whole point of having a Universal Champion and a WWE Champion was you had two rosters. Raw and SmackDown. If the champion is always going to be on both shows, then you got too many titles out there now. Like that's why you didn't have the Raw Tag Championships aren't on the pay-per-view last night, and the Intercontinental title isn't anywhere to be seen. Like you have too many titles now, too many people who are champion. It's just really weird. Again, Samoa Joe doesn't deserve this thing right now. I understand why he might be pissed off and go for the guy he thinks might be weakest. And believe me, there's nothing I would love more than to see him tomorrow face Xavier Woods in a singles match and destroy Xavier Woods. Just really, really
exactly
kayfabe maim him. And then next Tuesday, face Big E in a singles match with Xavier Woods on the shelf, quote unquote. And he faces Big E, and they have a great match, but he beats Big E.
Hey, Monday, throw him up against Cesaro. He can
whatever.
Got good competitors, and have him just beat them convincingly.
But there's a story to be told of Kofi saying, "No, you don't get this match," and he says, "Fine, then I'm going to systematically destroy your boys until you give me that match." There's a way of doing that, and then you can have the whole thing be like Kofi decides, "Hey, tonight, I'm going to use Xavier Woods interfering in my match with Dolph Ziggler over in Saudi Arabia, but a few weeks later, I'm not going to need them." Now, Samoa Joe, if you can do the story where Samoa Joe systematically removes them from the conversation and gets Kofi one-on-one. Now,
and that's the thing. I don't think that Kofi should outright reject the match. Just say, earn it.
Sure.
Just earn it. That's all he's got to say. And cite the fact that Dolph Ziggler didn't earn it.
Right.
That's what I want to see.
That'd be nice.
And I had people say, "Oh, well, Samoa Joe's competed at the top of the card before," and he's always lost. He's always lost. He literally regained the championship without winning it.
Yeah.
So, I want to see the guy win some matches before he's in a top program with Kofi Kingston. Give him some credibility. You can build a person in. This show is 3 weeks away from now, Alex.
Yeah.
It's Samoa freaking Joe.
You can do it.
You've got 6 TVs before then. He can run through people 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. The other thing is that it can be both. We don't buy Samoa Joe being in this place on the card right now. And, man, I'd love to see a couple of matches between Samoa Joe and Kofi Kingston. That'd be pretty great. But the problem is I can't get to that point until you give me the build-up to it. You can't just have, hey, randomly Samoa Joe versus Kofi Kingston, because you get to write the stories. You, WWE, get to write the stories. Write the story that puts Samoa Joe in that match versus Kofi Kingston, and then I'll buy a ticket, figuratively, to watch it.
Yeah. I want to see Kofi Kingston and Samoa Joe, and I want to see Samoa Joe at the top of the card, but I want to see Samoa Joe earn it within storyline.
Yes,
and the thing is, Samoa Joe would be cool with that in storyline.
Sure he would.
Alexa Bliss kind of guilts Nikki Cross backstage and implies she needs to come up with an idea to get her a title shot. Natalya and Naomi try to help Nikki, but Alexa walks back in. They argue. They're going to have a match. Naomi does the little split splash, hits Nikki hard with the baseball slide, but Alexa wins with the DDT. Alexa wants Nikki to help her beat up Naomi, and Nikki just awkwardly pushes both of them down.
It's weird.
That was odd. Like, I get it. Nikki's conflicted, but that was just weird. And then we get a tag team match, but not before the commercial, Alex.
No, you have to go to commercial and then set up the tag team match.
This show really seemed like a test run for this format, which we will get into later. There's some back and forth action, but Nikki hits her finisher on Natalya and gets the win. There's nothing that I can really point to and say that stood out, except for Natalya running towards the ropes and Nikki, who was way out of the tag rope range. The ref should have been like, "Hey, lady, get down." Yep. But instead, Natalya and Nikki just stared at each other. Bliss steals the pin, kind of, or she steals the pin. That's a Bliss thing to do. I like it.
That's the way it works. Makes sense. I'm kind of relieved there weren't I mean, they kind of were though. Like it's Alexa Bliss continues to be, I guess, the top contender to Bayley on the other brand, and I just can't get over that. You have other people on the brand where Bayley is champion. You can use them, and not Ember Moon. How about Sonya Deville or Mandy Rose or Carmella? There's lots of people you could use. Charlotte. I mean, I don't want to see Charlotte be able to the top of the card for a while, but you could definitely use her, and it would make more sense than using Alexa Bliss, who's not on that show. I mean, you did it once. I'm fine. Move on. But I don't think like they are.
We'll see where this goes. Hopefully it develops another tag title challenger, even though they kind of already lost the title match. They won a match, so let's get it back in there. Ricochet's promo backstage. Ugh.
Yeah, they don't need to have him do anything.
Ugh, it's bad. Gallows and Anderson join AJ Styles at ringside, and AJ isn't happy about it. So he grabs a mic and says, No. You guys are not going to ruin this match. And even though it hasn't started, we're going to restart it after these commercials. What the hell, Alex? So let's go through it. It's time. Our special meter is up, and it's time to Hadouken. The Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss match got restarted because it was turned into a tag team match. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Commercial in between Kofi Kingston against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens matches. Okay. A match started after the commercial when it was booked on Miz TV. Okay. The only way this it also happened after an elimination during the tag match. Okay, you can't have elimination matches every week. You can't have 2 out of 3 falls matches every week. The only way it could have been even funnier is if the lights go out when Shane McMahon is on the top ropes. They go to commercial. They come back. They come back on. Shane's still up there.
Now that I'd like to see. I'd like to see that.
I would love to see. Maybe it's Otis next week. And a match starts and he puts somebody up in a suplex. Yeah. They go to a commercial. And during the entire commercial, he has actually sat the guy down.
Yes.
But then he picks him back up for when the commercial comes back on.
Yes.
I would love that.
Yes.
This whole show, Alex, seemed like a test run on how many ways can we think of to not have wrestling during commercials. Now, when I first heard this rule, I was like, oh, they're not going to do commercials during matches. And that's kind of true. But more specifically, they just don't want to wrestle during commercials. Right. We'll see how this plays out on SmackDown with the picture-in-picture. What are you thinking about this, Alex?
Well, I mean, listen, if I never have to hear Michael Cole go, oh, and it looks like blank has taken control of this match. Which match rolls on Raw?
That's a good point, Alex.
As long as I never have to hear that again, I'm kind of okay with it. But here's a wacky, crazy idea. How about you figure out a way to do a whole match in between commercial breaks? How about you do like entrances or whatever? Like the matches don't need to be 20 minutes long. Maybe occasionally they will, and you'll find a way to restart it or whatever. But if the matches are like 8-minute sprints, you could do the whole match in between the commercials. You know, you could do that, and then you wouldn't need to do like.
Or hey, you don't have to have entrances all the time.
No, that's also true. You know, like it's. I don't know, but I'm willing to see where they go from here, but it seems to me they've spent all their ideas. And I'm with you as well. They can't do elimination matches and then restart matches. They can't do 2 out of 3 falls matches every week. It's just going to become weird. Like here's what I think they could go back to doing is making TV matches have time limits, like the old TV title did on WCW. And then you could have fun, cool ways of like guys in the last 30 seconds, like scrambling to get pinfalls and stuff. You could do things like that, so that the thing has to happen between the commercial breaks. And that's why we have this 10-minute time limit. That could be, that would be kind of a new fun thing to watch.
Yeah, it's a Vince McMahon thing, and I even put in my article, like, hey, this is the way that things are right now, but so was Hour 3 of Raw is going to look and feel different. And I talked to so many people backstage that were like, that used the buzzword, it's Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Shout out to Wildboy87 for this great super chat. Bliss Cross will make you jump, Alex.
Nice. It's good.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So the main event happens. Good back and forth match. They knocked the crap out of each other.
They really did.
And hey, I don't know, but damn, it looked like Styles. I don't know if Styles was giving him a receipt or what was going on there, but he knocked the living crap out of Ricochet with a forearm. It was great. Styles was busted up. They had great chemistry even after blasting each other.
Yeah. This to me felt like a veteran, like putting the rookie, quote unquote rookie, through his paces and seeing, like, let's see what you can take. I believe in you, kid, but I'm not pulling any punches. I'm not holding back. I want to see you what you can do at the top of your game, and that's why it really felt like a really, really great fight to watch. Like, it was really cool. Like, it was a really great match. We'll talk about the ending and whether or not I'm super cool with it, but I really loved watching this match. There were some really great back and forth segments of this match that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I did too. They just worked really well. I love that Styles switched up his moonsault reverse DDT to backflip over Ricochet, because, I mean, that can be hit or miss, which, granted, in WWE, I can't think of many times he's missed it, but he switched it to a scoop variety. Ricochet's strength is very underrated, especially against somebody the size of Styles. Ricochet does a great elevated spinning neck breaker that just looked awesome, and a lion salt. These two guys just main eventing Raw with an awesome competitive match. Styles wins with a phenomenal forearm, raises Ricochet's hand to end Raw. I don't know how I feel about Ricochet losing a match one night after he won the title. I mean, I guess I can see how things work for him moving forward, but it didn't leave the best taste in my mouth. I don't know if I would. I don't know what's best there. Like, do you have Styles lose his first night back in the ring? Do you have Ricochet lose after he wins the title? Or I don't want a non-finish, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the non-finish seems to be the thing they would normally do. I don't know where they're going with the story of AJ and the club, AJ and the Good Brothers, the G Bros. I'm not sure exactly where that's going. If you're headed toward AJ at odds with them, you could have the Good Bros come back out and and interfere in the match, which sets up for next week on Raw, AJ and Ricochet versus the Good Bros, and you could do a thing where this has been the plan all along, like they did with John Cena, and have AJ turn on Ricochet as part of that match, and then it was all part of the plan. You could do a lot of that stuff. I am not super cool with Ricochet losing his first match since becoming champion. Not great with that. I do like AJ being respectful of him, but it was kind of over the top with, like, raising the hand and everything. This appears to be setting up a veteran versus a young competitor having a respect feud, where at the end we'll see whether or not AJ respects him after losing a title match to him. I'm not sure where this all goes. The match was great. I don't know how I would do the finish differently, but the finish they did do.
But hey, it ain't our jobs to. It's their jobs to come up with creative stuff.
Yeah.
Guys, I want you all to make it your job to subscribe to Fightful. Hey, maybe you're watching this without an account. Create a YouTube account. Tap that subscribe button. It helps us out a lot. We have a ton of content up, hundreds of interviews, lots of news videos. I did one on a big breaking story last night. We have the Fightful Feast with Chris Van Vliet. It is a phenomenal talk that we have. I have Beer City Bruiser revealing why he rejected WWE. 40-year-old Beer City Bruiser passing on WWE to stay with Ring of Honor. It's worth a look. We have the Total Extreme Wrestling series, the Monday Night Wars rebooked. We have a ton of stuff up. Interview with Jimmy Havoc. Lots of in-person interviews coming. It would mean a lot. Leave a thumbs up. I mean, we don't have years and years of SEO behind us, so your support means a lot. Leave a thumbs up on these videos. It helps out a lot. Follow me at Sean Ross Sapp. Follow Alex at Pawlowski IV. Alex, congratulations on Giannis winning the MVP award.
Yep. We also Coach of the Year and Executive of the Year, regular season champs. We're gonna hang on. We're gonna hang on to that for a while.
My God. Please, guys, give us a solid and subscribe. We're here all week. I've got like 6 shows, a lot of reviews. Until next time, we're out.